Buddies, we just wanted to do a little something here. We did the live show earlier today, and we had gotten word this morning about the passing of Peter Maher. But out of respect for people involved, we're not in the news breaking industry. We wanted to first find out if it was true, and then let things play out. But we didn't want to go into a weekend and not come back until next week without sharing some thoughts about our great friend Peter Maher. It's going to be hard.
Yep.
Legend is the word that just we would call him. It's the legend, Peter. It's the legendary.
Hall of Famer.
It's the Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Fame.
Right, and it was not meant in sometimes Hall of Fame, but it was never that. It was meant with so much pride and esteem for him. Everybody loved Peter Maher. He's just synonymous with the Flames and such a great man. He was
so much more than just the guy that called the games.
Yeah,
because you loved him as a person, but you also loved his voice, you loved his passion, you loved his emotion, you loved everything about him. Then you met him and you're like, oh
yeah,
this man is a great man, a good person, someone I like to be around, and cares about you and does things that, I don't know, small town vibe just jumps out to me too, where he never was too big for anyone or anything.
Mm-hmm. That was the one thing that stuck out to me, is he had time for the little guy. There was no way in his mind that he thought he'd be better or more important than somebody else. And it's that East Coast thing, right? Like just the friendliest people and an incredibly, incredibly talented broadcaster. To grow up in the city and listen to him call games, and then to meet him and realize like he's not just a talented guy. He's one of the most kind and friendly guys out there.
From Campbellton, New Brunswick, started doing broadcasting, doing play-by-play at the age of 14, got his first crack in the NHL in 1977 with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then is for a long time, for 33 years, was the radio play-by-play voice of the Calgary Flames.
Did not miss a game, if I'm not.
Didn't miss a game. I remember it was tough for him when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they wanted to do the thing at the on ice level. It's like, well, am I going to have enough time to get upstairs to start the game? And I think Rob Kerr kind of stepped in for the first couple of minutes to call him a professional. If you watched Pete prepare the notes and the time that he would spend, no one prepared like Pete. And I had a conversation with Kelly Kirsch last week, not that long ago. And he was talking about Peter. And you forget now as we watch games, everything's on TV and it's social media. We're really not that far removed from not all the games being on TV. Mm-hmm. And if the team went on a 5 or 6 game road trip, they were out of your life. You may not know till the next morning. Did they win? Did they? What happened with the Flames
on
last
pay-per-view?
Night? Yeah. And Pete would be on the radio at 8 a.m. the next morning. Here's what happened. Here's what you need to know. If there was a trade or something, Peter Maher was the Flames fans' direct and only connection to the team for decades, literally decades.
I remember the 8 a.m. stuff where he'd go back in time because he always had the notes.
This day in Flames history, the catalog of stuff that he has and it was just remarkable. I remember the first time I met him because he's got just such that booming voice. That's a lot of sound to come out from a relatively small or just a regular sized. You envision this giant hockey fans, the National Hockey League present. I was just always amazed. He did 3,000 some odd games. And you think about the Rolling Stones, how many times have they played Satisfaction? Like, how tired are they of doing this? Every night when Pete at the start of the game made it sound like, I'm in the NHL, I'm broadcasting NHL hockey, this is such a thrill. And never made it about himself.
Never.
There were always those little nuggets you'd pick up from Pete. Just, it's about the players, it's not about me. And when you listen to Pete, it was never about, I called this game, I was there. He had the experience and he'd bring the stories to life for you, but he was so much just deferent to the players and to the game.
He wasn't. He never lost. You play in your first NHL game, you're like, oh my God, I'm in the That's how it felt like he was calling.
Yeah.
He was still the kid from
3,000.
Campbellton,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, and I remember like just all the things you're talking about, Dina, where it's like, well, am I going to be there for pregame? And just the respect he paid to the game, the dream that he was still living and hadn't forgotten. He always told a story about going up to Edmonton, and someone in the Oilers press crew had told Wayne that Peter had said something negative about him. And he's like, I went right up to Wayne and I waited patiently. We had a great chat, and I just want to clear the air. Like, I don't know that I saw a man respect the league, the craft, and the broadcast more than he did. It was so important to him.
And the players in turn respected him.
Yes.
You'd always see that when I'd be working with Kern, we'd be at the Dome, and it'd be leading up to because we're the Hot Stove Lounge. It's basically right next to the visitors' dressing room at the Saddle Dome. And Pete would be around there. He wouldn't spend a whole lot of time with us. He was preparing for the game, where we'd be, joking around and whatever before they get. This was time for Pete to prepare. But as the visiting team, if maybe they're there working on their sticks or whatever, so many guys would come over to say hi to Pete and shake his hand and how are you? And how are your kids? He would just always have that connection. And you think, how do you ever get that? You get that by being the best and doing it as your life's work. I don't want to get you emotional, but I just always think of the story that you tell about the plane ride home from Tampa after losing in 2004 and how crushed you were. And you think of the people that it meant.
It meant a lot to everyone, that 2004 run. It was a out of nowhere kind of event, and it had been a long time since the playoffs had been had. And again, it's not about me or the team even, but there were so many people, the city needed it and wanted it. And then there was guys involved, all the players for sure. But it always stood out for me, and I don't know how to tell it, but it felt like you let Peter Maher down. It felt like I wanted Peter Maher to have that winning call as much as I wanted to touch that silver chalice. And it killed me to feel like you let Peter Maher down. Like, that's how important he was, at least to me, and I know he was important to everyone.
Yeah.
And you knew how much it would have meant to him to have another chance to call a Stanley Cup championship game.
Yeah.
And I think I apologized to him, and he's like, "You're ridiculous." But it did. I did feel that. I was like, "Geez, we let Peter down.
Yeah,
this is terrible."
And we did those morning shows long enough, and it obviously would predated us by a ton. But we were lucky enough to have Maher in the morning, 8 a.m.s. Well, Boober, and there again, it's. If you're a play-by-play guy, you did a game last night, maybe you flew after the game. Like, I can't believe I got to get up. I had no sleep. Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, never. Morning, Boomer. Well, this day in Flames history. Like, he was such a pro and so fun, and you could joke around with them and have some laughs and that big booming laugh. And I think about he would go on in the morning, and he'd also go on at like 5 p.m, so double hits every single day. Yeah. It was when he would pump up Frank Sisson's Silver Dollar Casino. Mm-hmm. They weren't a sponsor, but he and Frank were longtime buddies. So Pete, it's the Flames and the Kings tonight. That's right, Boomer. And got to tell you, if you get a chance before the game to drop by Frank Sisson's Silver Dollar Casino, they've got a great live band. And anybody else, you would tell the play-by-play, you can't be giving out these free plugs. You can't be doing. They're not a sponsor. Yeah, it was Peter. Peter's going to, for his buddy Frank Sisson, he's going to go on there. One of the, I guess, two things. I thought it was so cool. The first time Sidney Crosby came around, there was the PR group that took care of the Penguins. They have one or two people. Sometimes maybe only one person goes on the road. But when Sidney came in, it was such a big thing. They had one person for Sidney and another for the rest of the team. And it was like, wow, this is a big deal that Sid did a one-on-one with Peter in the Hot Stove Lounge away from everybody else. It was just, this was one of the things that you do because of who Peter Maher is. And maybe it was an East Coast thing or whatever, but no one, well, how come he gets Peter's
the Hall of Famer.
Peter gets the one-on-one, and we're all okay with that. That makes total sense. And the video or the audio that we always ran, It was that game in Minnesota, and Mike Rogers is beside him in the booth. And because we've talked to Conroy about it. I think Conroy was out of the lineup or whatever it was. So he's in the press box beside the broadcast booth. So Peter is standing up, doing the call, doing his thing. And he must have been sitting down, and he gets up to do something. And as he goes to sit back down, the chair has kind of slid away from him. So as he stands up and then goes to sit back down, the chair is not there for him when he sits back down. But he's got the headset microphone on. Face off deep. Peter has hit the floor. And Mike doesn't know what to say. Talking to Corey, is Peter okay? Did something happen? And you think about what would you do there? You'd probably, oh man, I can't believe I fell. You kind of play back it, puck into the corner. Peter picks right up on the play-by-play, like doesn't miss a beat, and he kind of chuckles. And then Mike, you okay, Pete? It was. I hope that audio lives somewhere. It was back at the radio station, which no longer exists, but that was kind of the best part. He took it so seriously, but not so seriously that he was you know what I mean?
It wasn't so serious where it was no fun. It was serious and beloved.
Yes.
And enjoyed and respected.
He could laugh at himself instead of being mad at somebody who moved my chair. It was not that. He saw the comedy in the moment, but went with it. He is just such an inspiration for everybody in this town and has been around the team. Hall of Famer in 2006. So great.
Yeah, him and Harley that year.
Yeah, so great. I don't want to blubber, but I do need to get out of this. But
there's nothing. We love you, and God bless you, Pete, and your family, and everyone out there. Of course, if anyone needs us, we're here.
Yeah. And it's cool that so fitting that they have the Peter Maher Good Guy Award. Every year, there'll be one player on the team. Mackenzie Weegar has won it, and it's a perfect homage to him. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's good with the media, or just being a good guy, because Pete was the ultimate good guy.
Yeah.
The ultimate pro, the best guy. And we'll miss him. The Hall of Famer.
McGill has the puck behind the net. He works into the blue line left side. Ferentz over to the right point to Warner. He lets the shot go, deflected wide. Off the glass in left corner to Iginla. Again to the left circle. Passing to Yell. A shot. Save made by All. Iginla's rebound. Another shot. They score! The Flames win it! Yeah, baby! Overtime 3-2. Flames gaining the win as Martin Jelena knocks it in on the rebound. Oh, a wild Flame celebration as they score on the power play. Now it's the Flames' turn to race ahead. Kovasu on right wing to center. Hatcher belts him off the puck, but Leopold carries on. Shooting the puck into the Detroit zone. It goes around the end boards with a minute to go in the first overtime period. The puck's in the left corner in the Red Wing zone. The Flames have it. Conroy goes behind the net. He's wrapped up by Lang. The puck into the left corner for Iginla. Iginla to the left circle. Iginla shot. Joseph save. Rebound. They score! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Martin Jelena scores! The Flames win it! 1-0! Yeah, baby! The Western Conference Finals. Face off in the Calgary zone. 15 seconds left. Nail-biting time. Conroy wins the draw. Into the corner to Regier. He's checked in against the boards. Battle for the puck continues in behind the Flame. Koroluk has it. Koroluk with 6 seconds left. Passing in front. The pass doesn't work. It goes down the ice. Just to the empty net. They score! You can put it in the win column. The Flames are Western Conference champions. Yeah, baby!